female sax player named Katja Rieckermann just released that song today. It dropped, as everyone says, today. And I'm playing it, and there you are.
Oh my God, there I am. Hey guys, how's it going? All right, so I'm going to share this as a watch party. I just click share. I'll start a watch party. There you go.
Yeah. Good. And as far as I can tell, everything is working.
Okay. Start watch party. Yay. I'm new at this, so I mean I've done it once before.
The watch.
There. Oh yeah, I can see it. Cool. Awesome.
All right. Is your fly gone? Is the fly still there? Did you get him?
It's still there somewhere. So it's hiding because I've been trying to smash it. You guys are gonna enjoy it with my saxophone altissimo book.
Oh,
I have to witness it, but it's hiding somewhere. I usually wouldn't hurt a fly, but it's really big, and it was really like zzz.
You're giving new expression to I wouldn't hurt a fly. But you know, I on the other hand, I don't like flies. I'm smashing them right off. I'm like, so. Well, let me ask you about the song though that just came out today. I was playing a bit of it. Did you write that during this pandemic business?
I did, yeah. I wrote it like pretty much in the beginning, maybe in the first couple of weeks after lockdown, because I got bored and I hadn't really written any music in a while, and I was bored just practicing, and I just set up everything, and I wrote the song really in like 15 minutes. It just came out. It was like really weird. And I actually wrote it on the piano. I'm not a pianist at all. I can't really play. I just play whatever a little bit. And then I realized, so I started with the chords and with the bass line, and then I realized, these are kind of like flamenco chords. So then I hummed this melody over it, and then I played it on the saxophone just to, remember it. And so literally wrote it in like 15 minutes. And then I realized, well, flamenco, that's super cool. So I'm gonna get a, badass flamenco guitar player on it, Victor Torres, who is one of the best I know.
And so tell me about the other people in the recording that did this. Who are those guys?
It's Victor Torres. He's a really amazing flamenco guitar player. He has a band called Calais. And I've known those guys for a long, long time, ever since basically I moved out here. And then Todd Berkman played on it, who I'm sure you know who he is. He's played with so many other people. Great, amazing, very versatile drummer and percussionist. He also played all the percussion on the track. And then I asked a guy called Marco Renteria, who is actually Marco Mendoza's son. And he lived here for a while, a couple of years ago, when I met him and I heard him play. And he reminded me of a bass player called Carlos Benavent. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's like a very famous bass player in the flamenco world. I know a little bit about flamenco music because I used to dance flamenco when I was like in my early 20s.
Really?
I know how to play castanets, and I had the whole outfit and everything.
Oh, wait. Can we do a show with you doing that?
I don't really know how to do it anymore. It's been so long. I unfortunately had to stop dancing flamenco because I had a slip disc between L3 and L4. And it was very painful. And when you dance flamenco, there's lots of that stuff going on with your heels. So I had to stop dancing flamenco, unfortunately. But it was like one of my big passions. And then I also worked for a record label called Act Music and Vision, who only represented jazz, blues, and flamenco artists. So that's why I'm a little bit aware of all the flamenco artists, and that's how I know this guy Carlos Benavent. And Marco Renteria literally sounds like him, and he lives in Mexico now. So I called him up, and he was like very thrilled to play on it.
Yeah, are you thinking this maybe of doing a few more songs within this whole style and putting a whole album together? Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. But I honestly, unlike most of the guests that you have on this show, I really have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I never studied music. I just sit down and I have an idea for something and then it just comes out. But again, I when I put down those chords, I was like, this is like very flamenco-ish,
Yeah.
So, but so when I sit down and I write some more music, I never know what's coming out.
Well, it sounds great. Tom Politzer is watching. He says hi.
Oh, hey, Tom.
And Lori Cook says, congratulations, a very good piece of music. And we have a special gift for you later.
Oh,
yeah.
I like gifts.
Yeah. So if you did, well, we've got lots of time and you're sitting around and something just comes out. You're not really sure what will come out next when you're writing a piece of music and what inspires you. It just comes out and it might be flamenco. It might be something different.
It might be, yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm actually working on another track right now, which is just like a little blues thing, but it's kind of cool. So I'm looking for the right vibe with it, like what am I going to do with it? Which direction am I going to? Am I going to have live instruments on it like I did with this track, or am I going to do like a programmed drum thing, more like a I don't know, like a trancey kind of a thing. So I'm just kind of like thinking what I'm going to do with this one.
When you recorded this, did you each of you filmed and recorded your part in your own home?
Exactly.
And then you brought it together. Did you do the video editing and everything yourself?
I didn't. I hired a guy called Sammy Burke. He was also a very great bass player, and he's been editing some videos for my friend Dave Schultz that I've also been a part of. And I really liked what he did, so I contacted him, and he did a great job. Really, I told him what the idea behind this song was. I actually wrote lyrics for the song too, because initially I was like, well, it might be cool, because of the idea is together is kind of like a short for we are all in this together, talking about the pandemic and the self-isolation and all that. So I wrote lyrics for it, but I didn't feel like it was appropriate. It was kind of too heavy. So I like the instrumental version for it. But I told Sammy my idea was to represent that in the video, to have, all kinds of different ethnicities that have really nothing to do with this kind of music in the video, dancing to it in somewhat. And I think he did a really, really great job putting all that together.
Well, I can show the video. like it. The video looked good. And where did they get all that extra footage of stuff?
That's that was actually stock footage.
Mm. And
I mean, my original idea was to um, to ask my friends, you know, of like all kinds of random ethnicities to dance to it and you know, send me the video footage. But I think it was much easier this way because otherwise it would have been a lot of work for the video editor to edit all those videos together. And you know, he did a great job just finding random stuff, I think.
no, it looked great. And do you sing?
Do I what?
Do you sing?
Not really. I
I
actually sang on on one song that I did on my second album called Horn Star. I did a remake of Baby Jane, Rod Stewart's Baby Jane. It's kind of like a house version of it, like house music.
Mhm.
And my producer back in Germany, he made me sing it. Because we were gonna hire a singer, and he was like, "No, why don't you try to sing?" I'm like, "I can't sing," so he made me sing, and you know, whatever, it sounds okay, but I'm not definitely not a singer, so you don't want to ask me to sing. But you know, nowadays I'm actually okay singing Happy Birthday for people and stuff like that. Before I was like always super afraid. This is because you know when I grew up, I loved music, but I didn't play an instrument. And I didn't grow up in a household with a lot of music to begin with. My parents didn't really sing or didn't listen to music, but I loved it. So whenever I had a chance to sing in school, I would always like sing super loud and proud, you know, like,
Mm.
roar. And because my vocal cords weren't trained at all and I didn't know what I was doing, I would sing horribly wrong. So people would like laugh at me and point fingers, you know how horrible kids are. So so I never really sang until, you know, later on. Now that I have more musical knowledge and I have actually developed an ear for music, which I didn't have when I was younger.
Maybe now would be a good time to get your vocal skills together and sing this song with the words that you did.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. It's fine. I, it sounds good on the saxophone, I think.
Yeah, no, it sounds great. But maybe you can have like sing a verse or something in it. And
Well, the words are actually only for the chorus.
oh,
I only wrote lyrics for the choruses. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, fine. The lyrics just will stay with me in my heart, you know? And in my notebook.
Okay. Have you ever thought about writing songs with the lyrics? I mean, uh, that would be like if you have a record and it's all instrumentals, putting a couple of vocal songs on there.
Yeah, I have. I actually did write a couple of songs with lyrics. This was some of the first ones that I ever wrote when I was still living in Germany. And one of them I dedicated to my brother who, you know, he committed suicide in the early 90s.
Hmm.
And so I wrote a song for him with lyrics. But, you know, I never recorded the lyrics. I recorded the song, but I never put the words on it. So,
Hmm.
but I have it all, you know, like in my files somewhere.
Okay. Well, now that we have all this time, we've been sitting around. I know when we first talked, uh, we think this maybe 2 months ago. I mean, it's been 3 months completely since we've been sheltered in place. And we were then talking about what are we going to do with all of our time. So for you wrote this song, what other things have you been doing during this time? I know you've been doing some live streams and those sorts of things. Um, are you doing doing a lot more writing or thinking about writing or pulling out some of your old material and redoing them?
Yes, actually, I am. Yeah, definitely. So I want to. I actually right now my keyboard is not here because my brother needed it upstairs. but I want to get it back down so I can, you know, write some more again, now that this track is out. And I actually have been doing a lot of remote recording sessions. I've been getting a lot of calls and I have, you know, you're gonna laugh at me. Everybody's gonna laugh at me. Here, this is my little. Can you see my little SM58?
Nice. Yes, that's a.
That's all I'm using. I don't have a fancy microphone. That's what I recorded this song with too. And you know, I just have my Logic here. I use Logic, and I'm really not good with all the technical stuff. I don't put any effects on my saxophone at all. You know, I let the mixer do that. I had a really great mixer doing this, Tony Phillips, and yeah, but you know, and that's what people need. They all they need is the saxophone super dry, and so I just record it and send it to them.
You know, a SM58 is a mic that everybody should just have because they'll work for almost anything. And you can get a decent recording with it, and that the track sounds really good. So, you know, you really don't need a big fancy mic to get a good sound.
I think so too. I mean, you know, when I did my last whole record, Never Stand Still, which came out a long time ago, 2015, me and Jeff Carruthers, my producer and co-writer for that record, we actually tried out for like, I don't know, like a whole day or 2 days. We tried out all kinds of different microphones. Because another friend of his has like this studio with all kinds of stuff, all kinds of microphones. So we tried out a bunch of them and ended up realizing, you know, it doesn't make such big of a difference. So we ended up using his 414, which sounds great. For my taste, it's a little too bright sounding sometimes. Yeah. But, you know, that's what I use for everything, for all the solo stuff on that record. So, but I think it really doesn't matter that much. It's more about, you know, the performance of the artist and of your own tone, you know, your own sound. That you can't, you know, I mean, that's got to work, you know. That's where it's all coming from.
Right. And if you get a nice line level or dry sound from your horn in the studio now with all of the effects and everything people can do, they can put brightness on it if you want, and they can do a lot of things with it. Once it's recorded, it's mostly the performance and your overall tone. Most of the time, that is the most important thing, is the performance.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So of some of the old stuff, the sessions, what kind of sessions are you doing? I mean, just solos, lines?
You know, all kinds of random stuff. Like 2 days ago, I did a session for a guy out of Las Vegas who was looking for a tenor player that sounds kind of like Pink Floydish. And he contacted some people here in LA if they knew anybody that sounded like that, because apparently, like in Las Vegas, all the saxophone players sound more pop, you know, like very pop, which I can do too. But you know, I love that, you know, tenor sound, that, you know, Pink Floydish tenor sound too. So I did that. Then I did what else? I played on a house track, completely different, which was like a German guy that does this house track that I played on. Completely different style of music. It's like alto, you know, like typical, like one of those typical strong lines that you need for that kind of music. That's very repetitive with a, you know, big solo in the middle. What else did I do? I played on my friend Martin Nethercutt's project, which is also completely different. Then I did a couple of commercials for some other people. And then for a producer in Germany, I played on something which is more jazzy, kind of like Pink Panther-ish. So really completely, you know, random mixture of stuff, which is great for me because, you know, and I can just do it here at my own pace. I just do a couple of takes. I comp my own little solos together. Thankfully, I know how to do that because I sat next to somebody who comped my stuff many times before. So now I've gotten much better at it, and so do that, and then just send them the couple of takes, and then that's it. So
Had you been doing a lot of that sort of thing before, or do you feel like
no,
it's coming now?
not at all. It's really weird. It seemed like all of a sudden, since lockdown started, people wanted to work on something. Oh, I also did something for somebody in Canada, who I did a couple of gigs with, and he got out like one track that he wrote like 20 years ago, and he was like, now is a good time to record this. So that was completely different rock stuff. So yeah, I mean, what was your question? Sorry, I just
Well,
kind of like,
whether you had done that kind of thing before, but now,
oh yeah,
because
no, yeah,
it's coming at the right time, because
yeah,
with the lockdown, we were all wondering when we first talked, what are we going to do? Because all of the work had gone away. So with those things coming in now, the timing is perfect for that.
it is. Especially, I mean, I was trying to really be motivated and practice, but it gets boring if you just practice every day. It's just like, oh, there's something you want to practice for, something where you can say, oh yeah, that's nice. You have an actual product, like, I mean, or like when we used to go, do a live show, you have some feedback, now we don't have feedback. You're just sitting here by yourself and trying to whatever. I just started to play a transcription of a Brecker solo just to do something completely different from what I've been practicing before. So working on some of that right now. Just got to keep myself entertained too,
Yeah, I don't know. When I was playing and wanted to
Hold
practice,
on a second. Hold on a second, Ralph. I'm doing a live stream right now. Hold on a second. Den kannst du trinken, wenn du willst. Das ist der Rest von mir. Da habe ich aber draus getrunken.
Bist du auch krank?
No, I'm not sick. Sorry.
Were
Things
you-
that happen when you're at home.
were you
I live with
speaking
my
German?
brother, and I made a smoothie earlier, but it was too much, so I left some. And he comes down. He's like, "What's that smoothie? Can I have some of that?"
Were you speaking German?
Yes.
Oh man, that's great. I love that. Um, uh, uh, speak German to me for a minute. Tell me something in German.
Was soll ich dir denn erzählen? Dein Hintergrund ist sehr schön, sehr blau und du siehst sehr frisch und sehr gesund aus heute und sehr glücklich.
Well, okay, so I don't have any idea what you said, but it sounded great. I'm told that my last name Nuss is German for nut.
It is.
Yeah, so I guess it's appropriate for me.
You don't seem so nutty, actually, to me.
Oh, well, I can be quite yeah, I can be quite nutty. My children would say, yeah, I'm a nut. So when I was back when I used to play a lot, it was hard for me to motivate myself to practice. There are some people that seem to not have an issue with, they just want to pick up their horn or their sticks or whatever and just play. I was never that kind of guy where I needed, I have a gig Saturday, so I need to make sure my chops are, what is the gig? Oh, it's this kind. So I practice that kind of stuff. And if I don't have a gig, I would never pick up my sticks. So I quit playing when I started doing sound because I never really had gigs and I was never motivated to practice. Getting motivated to practice, is that hard for you to get motivated a little bit?
Yes, it is. And I'm exactly like you. I like to pick up my horn when I have a reason to, when I have something to prepare for. because I get really bored, you know, just practicing technical stuff. I'm not a technical player at all, you know.
Mm.
I've just never been motivated to do that. I mean, nowadays I tried, like, because we have so much time on our hands, I've been trying to do that actually, to practice some technical stuff, just because I hadn't done that in so long. But I always like to practice for upcoming gigs or learn songs. You know, this is one of the reasons why I actually like doing the live streams for a while,
Mhm.
because they made me learn new songs all the time. You know, when I do live streams, I basically try to please the crowd. I don't like to play like noodly jazz stuff. I like to play songs that people know, that people recognize. And so I've built up a huge repertoire of songs that I can just play, like songs that I grew up with from the 70s and the 80s, you know. Let it be like some Rick James or some Beatles, some um, Rolling Stones, some Billy Joel, Elton John, whatever songs that we all know. So that was kind of fun. But I don't know, the people who follow me, they notice that I haven't been streaming much lately because I got bored with that too. You know, I'm like it's just, you know, you can only do so much of that, and then it's like, okay, you know, what am I doing this for? I mean, it's fun to do it and to interact with the people, but unlike what you're doing now, you and I actually talk and we have a conversation. But when I do my live streams by myself, I play to tracks and I see the people who are in the room and I, you know, talk to them, but they don't talk back. So I'm basically talking to myself. I'm reading to myself what they're writing, and then I play again. So I mean, it's gotten a little old, so that's why I haven't been doing that much of those lately, because I got bored. You know, I just want to challenge myself, want to focus on other things that are a little bit more productive, like actually practicing some more technical stuff, and you know, things like that I haven't been doing before much.
And maybe more recording and session work will come in. But you know,
Yeah,
we're social animals. You know, human beings are social people, and there are a few rare people that like to be isolated. You know, I like to be alone a lot when I'm not working, but I like to be alone because when I was working, I was always around people. So
right.
my time off was I'm alone, but I need those interactions with people to keep me feeling connected and motivated. And I think as time goes on and we're sitting by ourselves, it gets harder and harder to feel. It just sometimes I don't know how you are, but everybody's dealing with this whole thing a little differently. But it's harder to stay motivated as an artist and want to do something with our craft when we're just sitting by ourselves all the time. I mean, for me.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm like you also in this regards. I always spend a lot of time on my own, even, you know, without the pandemic self-isolation thing, because I basically live alone. I mean, I do live with my brother, but him and I are like night and day in all kinds of, uh, you know, what do you say, all kinds of matters. He basically he works at night. He gets up like midday, and I'm an early riser, especially nowadays, because there's nothing to do at night. I mean, I used to go out for gigs, but now there's nothing to do, and especially now that it's been so warm, I like to get up super early to go on my walk before it gets warm. So I usually get up like around 6:30. Sometimes I wake up at 5:30, you know, and then I just go on my walk. So I'm usually passed out by like 10. It's not very rock and roll at all. But yeah, I mean, and then I cook. You know, I do usually cook like an early dinner, and that's when I usually spend a little bit of time with my brother, because I cook for both of us. We
Hmm.
sit down. We usually watch the news together and talk for a little bit. but basically I'm by myself, I mean, I'm not married. I don't have any kids. I'm just here by myself. So it's sometimes, yeah, it's not easy.
The whole pandemic is making that feel a little uncomfortable, because even when being alone is okay, but it's usually broken up with gigs,
Mhm.
when you go out and play, you're around people and that's fun, and it fills us up in our spirit. But then when we can't do that, that just makes it hard, sort of just sitting at home, you know.
Yeah.
Y- it's not been easy. um so have in some of your old things, bringing that out and looking at some of your older songs that you've written, have you thought about redoing them or re-recording them, or things that you hadn't recorded, looking?
Yeah, I was actually funny that you bring that up, because I was actually thinking about that for the last couple of weeks, because I have a lot of songs that never even got released, that that I wrote like in the very beginning when I started writing, when I was still living in Germany. So I have like, I don't know, I probably have like about maybe at least 8 of them that never really got released. That would be nice to redo. But then on the other hand, I don't know if I want to go back and redo them, or if I just want to come up with something new, because I'm not a new person now, but I'm a different person now. I have a
Hmm.
little bit more experience, knowledge, whatever things I've done. So I think maybe I'd rather do something new than
Hmm.
go back to the old stuff.
Now, I know I asked you this before, I'm sure, but how long have you been in the States?
Since 97. I came in December 97.
So that's like 23 years.
Yeah, that's freaking crazy. I can't even think about it. That's insane.
So, yeah. And since that time, you've played with Rod Stewart and others, and things have changed. Is it? Do you think about going back to Germany and living there at all?
Yeah, I do. Especially now that I don't know how long it's going to take for the music industry to pick up again, and for us to be actually doing what we love doing, which is, touring and playing and performing and stuff like that. So, um, and also, my dad is getting older. He's, how old is he? I think 84. And my mom passed away in 2007, so my dad's basically on his own. But, he still has, um, so he basically has some commercial buildings there that that he rents out. So he has a business, and I'm at some point sooner or later I'm gonna have to go and start helping him. I mean, he thankfully he's super fit still. He's super
Mm.
fit, but you never know. I mean, 84. He's getting up there. So I think eventually I might have to definitely go over there. You know, help him out a little bit. And I don't know if I do that, if that'll be for good, or if I can do be at both in both countries. I don't have a green no I don't have citizenship. I have a green card.
Hmm.
My green card is running out next year, so I have to reapply for it, which won't be a problem. But I also want to apply for citizenship, but I want to apply for dual citizenship because I definitely don't want to lose my German.
Hmm.
But in order for that, I need to apply for, I don't know what, in German it's called Beibehaltungsgenehmigung, which is basically um, that I'm accepted from the fact that the Germans don't allow dual citizenship except for in certain uh, um, cases. So I need to apply for that. And I actually started that process a couple of months ago, right before the pandemic started, but then, everything was shut down, so I haven't really finished my application yet. But that's one of my projects that I'm working on, so I can, have both options.
Well, if it were me and I were a German citizen, I would keep that and forget about trying to be a United States citizen this day and age. I would, I
Well,
would,
the reason, Jeff, the reason why is, of course, I've lived here, as you said, 20, 22, 23 years. So my life is here. But, and eventually I'm going to have to go over there to, take care of some stuff and help my dad out. But as a green card holder, like I am, you're actually required, or you cannot live outside the States for longer than 6 months at a, so then you'll lose your green card. So that's one of the reasons why I want to have both. So I have both options, Otherwise, I wouldn't care. People asked me that before many times. Don't you want to become an American citizen? I'm like, no, I don't care. Who cares? But now I think it's getting a little important for me to do that. But the process it takes some time. Definitely takes some time.
Yeah, it's not easy. The EU right now, from what I hear, aren't letting any United States people go there.
Yeah, not right now, of course.
So what would happen? I mean, I just think I don't know when all this is going to let down so we can even travel, and because that's affecting a lot of artists and touring too, because a lot of artists, as we know, like Tom, Tower of Power, they travel to Europe and Japan and all kinds of places all the time. And when are we going to be allowed to do that? Doesn't look like the pandemic's going to slow down the United States anytime soon. So, oh boy, I've never been to Europe. That's one place I really want to go. I really want to go to Germany and Austria. And if I went there, I would probably stay there for quite a while before I chose to come back. So, do you have any other have you thought about doing do you play like alto, soprano, other than tenor, bari, flute, all those kinds of instruments?
I don't. I play alto, tenor, and bari. I love playing bari too.
But I remember now. Now I remember one of the videos we showed when we were first. You were playing bari on one of
the Walk and the Dog video. Yeah, I actually did a bari solo. But I played bari on that record, Never Stand Still. Of course, I played all three horns, alto, tenor, and bari, because there were a lot of features on alto, features on tenor, and bari, lots of bari parts. And I wrote all the horn section stuff, and of course, I played all three horns in the horn section. Plus, I didn't play the trumpet, of course. That was Luis Eric Gonzalez, and Humberto Ruiz played the trombone. So we went in and recorded the horn section stuff, actually at East West, and I played tenor there. They played trumpet, trombone, and then I overdubbed the alto and the bari part at my producer's house. So yeah, but I love playing bari. Such a cool instrument. Yeah. I never practice it though, because it's just so heavy. It's just, thankfully I don't have a low A. I have a low B flat bari sax. It's a balanced action. It's super, super old, but I like it because it's a lot lighter than the low B flat ones, and it sounds really great.
So I'm just wondering how quickly you'll come out with your next record, your next song? You got something brewing right now?
Yeah, I'm working on something right now. The next there might be another track coming out very soon. Um, I actually have a friend of mine working on the drum programming right now, and then just gotta get it out. I don't know if I'm gonna do a video too, because all that it involves some favors these days.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I don't know, but I might just release something. And I was actually talking to somebody else about doing a whole another record who is interested in maybe helping me finance it. So, and that conversation just happened like maybe an hour before ours. So it's really funny that you bring that up too. So it might be a sign for me to do more again.
I get the creative juices flowing.
That's right.
That was this song that you did. Now people can find that on iTunes. I found it on iTunes.
Yeah, of course. As of today, it's available pretty much everywhere. I mean, it's available on iTunes, on Apple Music, Spotify. What else? Eventually, it'll be on all the streaming outlets.
Mm-hmm.
But today, it's like on those major big ones. Oh, and iHeartRadio as well.
How easy is it to get on iHeartRadio? I don't know anything about that platform.
It's super easy because I didn't do it myself. I basically, and this is the first time I did this also myself. I used a company called DistroKit. Have you heard of them?
Mm-mm.
It's a service. So you sign up with DistroKit. I think it's like I paid like maybe $29, and it's for a whole year. And when you're done with your song, when you have written your song and you have all the artwork, you just go to the site and you upload it, and they do everything for you. It's really amazing. So they put it everywhere. I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is upload it on DistroKit. Like, of course, the WAV file, and you have to have some artwork, and then I actually scheduled a release date because I uploaded it last week, in the middle of the last week. But you don't have to do that. You can just upload it right away. I mean, it takes a couple of days, but I like to schedule it a little bit beforehand so you can promote it a little bit, kind of hype it up a little bit, whatever. Not that definitely makes a big difference, but so you kind of like post it on your social media. It's coming out soon. So, but yeah, they do everything for you. They even also collect the royalties for you. So if you don't plan on using that song anywhere else, but those streaming outlets or whatever sell on iTunes, they collect all the money for you, and they automatically put it in your bank account. So you don't even have to register it with ASCAP.
Oh,
I'm probably going to do that. That's one of the things that's on my to-do list because, there might, you never know, maybe for some music licensing, can get a place somewhere.
right. Song placement is a good way to make some money.
Yeah.
Is there a fee? Do they charge you a fee for that?
Yeah, it's if you do like there's here. Let me see. Let me find it. I can tell you right now. New window, DistroKit. I think the easiest one is like $19. That's one where you just go and you upload your music. But with that one, and that's $19 for a whole year.
Okay.
That's really nothing.
Right.
But with that one, you cannot plan a future release date. So I upgraded, which is like just $10 more, which is, I believe it's like 29 or maybe 39, I don't know, but still it's nothing. And then you can plan it ahead, and you can release or upload as many songs as you want.
Okay.
Great.
The thing to do then to make sure that you make your $30 worth, upload a lot of music. Right.
Well,
Right.
I mean, you know what? This is just so freaking ridiculous. Of course, and I know that I am not gonna make any money off this,
Right.
unless, now which I think is a nice feature on Spotify. If you have a Spotify account, now each artist can put like a donation button on top of their Spotify. So if
Hmm.
if you went to my Spotify and you really like what you hear and you're like, because Spotify is, basically free streaming, there's a link where you can send me money through PayPal, which goes directly to me. So
Oh,
that's really nice.
has that worked? Has that worked at all? Have you done that?
Well, I put up my PayPal link, but I haven't gotten any money.
Well, if people can get it for free, why would they want to? It's really hard.
I know.
They need to know you personally. If you develop a personal connection, that's why doing things like this, I think, can help, because people can get to know you. It's the personal connection that allows them to want to donate, because they start to know you personally.
Right.
I think that helps.
Yeah.
But
the other thing I wanted to mention real quick before I forget, when we're talking about making money, are you familiar with sound recordings, whatever thing, that music sound recording thing? I forgot now. I just got my royalty check in the mail the other day.
Yeah.
It's like 18 cents. I wanted to take no, it's Sound Exchange. Sorry, it's Sound Exchange. And I get this email from like Sound Exchange. Yeah, we have, you need to sign this. We have some money for you. I'm like, great, So, and eventually, a couple of days later, I get go to the mail and I see, oh, there's a check from Sound Exchange. I open it. It's like freaking 18 cents. I'm like,
oh man.
Yeah, great. So yeah.
There's a question: is it available in Canada? iTunes is available in Canada, right?
Oh yeah. It should be, everything should be available everywhere now as of today. So I think if I'm gonna post, if you go to my Facebook page, there should be links to the DistroKid site, and if you click on that, it'll take you to the iTunes, to the iHeartRadio, to the Spotify. So it should be available everywhere.
Fantastic. Well, believe it or not, we're like at 55 minutes.
Oh wow. Well, don't you have another thing going on at 4?
Yeah, I have to upload some video. It's a pre-recorded video that I said I was going to upload, and I'm going to do a little thing. So
all right.
I should get going, but
okay.
This is fun, and I apologize for being all thumbs over here.
You apologize for what?
Being all thumbs,
What does that
well, that means making mistakes, accidentally pushing buttons.
I would say this. I would say thumbs up instead of all thumbs. You don't have to apologize for being all thumbs.
No. So I'm going to play a little bit more of this to go out. And then once I get your video downloaded and be able to upload it so it looks good quality, I'll repost it on my Facebook page as well. Again.
Yeah, or you can just post the YouTube link, which
that works too. But I like being able to I like to be able to actually show the video on my page. That's
awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me again, Jeff.
Thank you, Katja.
I'm probably gonna stop by tonight. I'm excited for your stream tonight.
Oh, for Mark Rousseau. Yeah. Tom. I've never met Mark personally. Our paths crossed sort of, but he's kind of he and Tom are pretty good friends. So it should be a fun conversation.
I absolutely love his playing. Oh my God, he is so amazing. It's one of my favorite, the Yellow Jackets record he played on is like one of my absolute favorites. Amazing.
There's some, there's been a lot of really cool Yellow Jacket stuff.
Yeah, Oh my God, I love the Yellow Jackets. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Katja.
Thank you
Have
so much
an
for having
amazing
me.
day. We'll be talking again soon.
Okay.
Okay. And
Bye.
here is more of your song.